Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talking Tennis, the only tennis podcast you need to be listening to get all your tennis headlines, results, and well-informed, unbiased opinions. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to follow us on X at Talking Tennis to get all our unfiltered opinions. I'm your host. They call me Adam the Animal, and I'm joined by my two partners in crime. Firstly, the man who has made history by becoming the first person to retire from tennis, take on a full-time job as a professional volleyball coach. It's Chrissy P. How are you this evening, Chris?
Thank you for the warm introduction again. I'm doing well. Full-time and professional. I think you're using those terms quite loosely. But yes, I don't mind the old volleyball. It just turns out that way that I have retired from tennis and have taken up volleyball as a coaching profession.
I look forward to hearing about how that's all going.
I'll keep you updated.
Please do. And secondly, my second partner in crime, the man to my virtual left, whose playing days were cut short prematurely, leaving him with a tennis career made up of more knee surgeries than tennis trophies. It's Vajos. How are you this evening, Adrian?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. And I would like to be upset at that intro if it wasn't true. So, applause for that one. Well done.
I took a punt on that one, but I figured it was correct.
Well, I like to make reference to the old Mount Carmel trophy that I won back in the junior days. And aside from that, you're 100% right. I've had more knee surgeries than trophies.
It's 3 knee surgeries, that trophy.
Well played. Can't be upset at that one.
No problem. I try my best. I'm trying to end the year on a high note with my introductions. I put a lot of work and effort into them.
Good on you.
Thanks. What's happening with you, Adrian? What news do you have for our audience?
Well, it's last week for my kids, the primary school kids, finishing up. So we're there, the home stretch. It's been a long slog, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And oh boy, it can't come soon enough.
Is it Friday your last day?
For the kids, it is. My last day will be a Wednesday, but the Wednesday will be our work function. So you can't really.
That doesn't count. No. So really, you're in less than a week to go then by my math.
Yeah. And I rock up on the Monday and Tuesday, but I don't have kids. And the rest of the school, the preps to fives have kids, whereas we don't. So don't ask me what I'll be doing on those days, but
that'd be pretty loose, I reckon.
Yeah, I'll be hanging loose.
Good to hear. Chris, what about you? Tell us about your volleyball escapade. What's been happening? We haven't spoken much about it on this pod, but I know everyone will want to hear about it.
Yeah, but keeping it under wraps. My year 9s and 10s, I've been taking them under my wing the past 4 months. They've been training hard, 3 sessions a week, mornings, after school. They've been working hard, developing tactics and strategies. They're getting there. They're building cohesion, good teamwork. But we found out our first round match will be in week 4 of the new year. So when we start next year, there won't be any time, to muck around. It's going to get straight into business. And hopefully, I really emphasized that they needed to be practicing over the summer, over their holiday break. And I really feel like they're taking a liking to the sport of volleyball. So that's a big thing.
You mentioned a while ago that you had the year 9s and you were showing them, or you had them play against the year 10s who were already quite established. Yeah. And that they were, to get them inspired to reach those heights. How were those year 9s, that year 9 crop going?
Yeah. So they had their match. It turned out to be 4 year 11s. Their opposition, and we had 2 teachers join in as well. And one of the teachers actually is 7 foot. So he just played front row and just blocked and spiked everything. They played 2 sets. First set, they lost 20, we played to 21-15. It was respectable. And the second set, they just capitulated. First 8 points, they were 8-0 down, and I absolutely reamed them and blasted them through in our timeouts. just telling them just to keep talking, keep motivated, and just keep the chatter up, because they go on their shell a lot. But I actually got some students to take note of how many unforced errors they were making, how many forced errors they were making, and how many winners the opposition was making as well. So we could break down as well how the points were being won and lost. And big thing is for them is not to make any unforced errors. Do not lose the point on easy plays. So yeah, we took a lot from that match. Well, they're going to have a lot more matches in the new year as well to get their match ready as well. Doing it at the back half of this year has been challenging because of exams for the year 11s and getting a team together. But the group is they're a lot more comfortable with each other, and that's just going to happen with time. So now we're looking forward to it and returning next year and hopefully get a W on the board against some other schools.
Nice.
Very nice, Chris. I look forward to hearing how that goes. So that's going to be what, in February next year?
Yeah, it'll be late February. And one of the schools they're actually going to be coming up against in our district won Australia in the nation. So
You draw the top seed.
Yeah, we are going to be drawing the top seed. And obviously to progress, they need to win that.
Wildcard versus Sinner.
Yeah.
Nice to Agora and Izvinovic 2001 Wimbledon, mate. 2001, 2002?
I think
2001. I only spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. You mentioned, Chris, the kids. You're expecting them to do some work over the summer holidays. Will you be attending these training sessions that may or may not be happening? Will you be taking time out over your summer break?
As much as I would love to, but I feel like there are some laws and regulations around that in terms of being always a teacher first, and not mingling with students outside of work in that capacity. But I have mentioned to the team and to the boys that you should be go down to the beach, South Melbourne, St Kilda. If it's great weather, it's a good day out just to go and play beach volleyball there, get the team together. But some have hired gyms in recreation centres to be playing indoor as well. I mean, if they want to pay for it, they can. But I figured the beach volleyball would be a more feasible option for them, seeing as they're students as well. So I've given them options in terms of what they want to do, but they're proactive, and that's the main thing. They want to play, and that's going to be the big difference at the end of the day.
You haven't put some air tags in their bags and just sit in the car with the binoculars and just get the tape recorder out and just start getting some feedback down?
Look, I've got two captains there, and I'm putting a lot of trust in them to, carry the team and, get the boys up. So, but no, I don't want to be going to jail next year. So I'll be good.
You don't want to send Adam in to do some recon for you?
That's an option. If Adam's willing to, we could always
go to jail.
Arrange that.
I don't go to jail because I'm not the teacher, so it's okay. Look, if they're going to hang out at St Kilda Beach over the December and January periods, I'm happy to go with them and take a look around.
Oh, who knows? I might accidentally bump into them, 5 times a week.
That's usually where you hang out over January, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my place to be in the summertime.
Very good, very good. We'll jump to some tennis talk now, as much as we want to hear about Chris's volleyball escapades. Is anything happening in the last week or two, despite no other major tournaments happening at the moment? There's been a couple of comebacks. One comeback that's happening, one comeback potentially that might be happening. First off, Vera Zvonareva. She fell short in her comeback final. The 41-year-old Russian's fairytale run at the ITF W100 in Dubai ended in the final on Sunday, losing to 20-year-old Croatian rising star Petra Marčinko in straight sets, 3-6, 3-6. I know Chris has got a lot to say about veterans coming back, so I'll leave it for him to speak on that one. Another potential comeback in 2026. Serena Williams, reports emerged that she had re-entered the doping testing pool, which immediately sparked speculation about a potential 2026 return to tennis. However, she did jump on X last week, denying any plans to return to professional competition. But I did find it interesting. Why would you enter the doping pool if you had no plans to come back next year? So I'm calling it first US Open doubles with Venus next year.
Oof.
Yep.
Adrian,
Why else?
I feel like you've got something to say on this.
Oh, well, and I had a look. You have to register for that at least 6 months before playing, to my understanding. So
correct. That is
so
correct.
she won't be making it for the Oz Open, but you're right for the I guess the home US Open. Well, you heard it first here. Yeah, I agree.
You heard it first.
On that, with
calling it.
the topic of comebacks, I can understand some of the logic. I do disagree with a potential inverted commas there for the decision to make a comeback, but yeah, you have to admire the will to want to come back and still prove that you have something to give. Yeah, you have to admire that. But
I don't know what
as you get old,
about that.
But as you get old, do you feel you have a point to prove to yourself that you can still achieve success? On the flip side, that mostly occurs, I feel, with people who haven't realized their full potential. Not someone who is potentially or is the most successful women's player. Is she the most successful women's player ever?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I understand that. Yeah, you're getting older. You want to prove yourself that you've got more to give, but I feel it's more for those kinds of people that haven't reached the highs that both of them have. I think Zvonareva reached number 2 in the world. So they'll, no slouch. Yeah, I can understand it, but I disagree with their exact instances of wanting to come back. But
what about Venus?
Same with Venus, like what do you have to prove?
What if you just want to just keep playing and you just want to keep running around the circuit, playing challenger tournaments?
Yeah, you got to respect it. You can't knock it, really.
I feel like you've got so much more to lose than you do to gain when your status is that high, especially Serena. I mean, what more do you have to prove? There's just so much more on the line for you to come back. There's just no need for it. Is it boredom? Is it, the field to need to compete against these current relevant players, or do they feel like they can't cope with life after tennis? And it just makes me sick, to be honest. Like, you want to come back into the limelight. You had your time's done, move off to the side, gracefully retire. Fuck this, coming back bullshit. You're done. You're finished. That's just time. That's just time having its way. If you want to stay involved with tennis, go devote it into your children or grassroots. Have some sort of affiliation there. And then Serena Williams is coming out and denying it when there's no possible reason for her to be part of the for testing, really. So to sign up. So I don't get.
What about the love of the game is compelling them to come back? You got to respect that.
Love the game, but sure, maybe in other capacities, but maybe not on a professional level.
But who are you to judge? What if they want to come back and compete? There's nothing wrong with that, surely.
Fine, if you want to come back and compete and then tarnish your own reputation, by all means. But that's what's more likely going to happen.
Do you think I don't know if the comeback would tarnish what they had achieved previously. If they achieved something great, it would be, oh,
But
wow.
people will
Serena.
always remember it. People will always remember the last thing you did, or the last time you got on court as well. There's, as I said, you have more to lose. You're just going to embarrass yourself.
I feel like more people would remember Serena for all of her achievements than that a failed comeback.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'll ask you a question then, Chris. If I say Michael Jordan, what basketball team do you think of?
Well, obviously the Bulls.
You don't think of the Wizards?
What was that? You don't think the Wizards?
No, I don't. But I also don't think of baseball as well.
I was hurting if they want to come back and continue playing these. Like Venus is playing challenger tournaments. Zvonareva is playing challenger tournaments. She made the final of a challenger tournament. Who's it hurting?
The difference,
they're running around playing challenger game circuits or tournaments.
Serena's a champion. That's the difference. It's not as if though she was like a player on the fringes of like top 50 or top 20. She is like one of the greats of the game, which I feel like with that on your shoulders, you need to go out, with grace. And once you've retired, like that's it. I feel like it's your retirement from the game is that much more special when you say goodbye. But then just to say, I'm coming back, because why? It feels like it diminishes the whole retirement aspect part of it.
Was there a big retirement party farewell thing for her? Did she do the John Farnham farewell tour and then potentially coming back? No, I'm a serious question. I don't know. Was there a big, this is my last tournament, we're going to make a big song and dance about it?
I think it was at the US Open. I think.
Is that what you're concerned about? It's more like it's like the pro wrestler, right? When they retire and then they just show up a year or two later, and it's like Ric Flair when he retired. He just came back a year later, just kept wrestling, still wrestled 10 years later. Is it just like the retirement means nothing?
Yeah, I think so. And then when players do retire, and they make it all special and it's like a memorable moment, and then us spectators, we're going to think, oh well, is this really the retirement? Are they just going to come back and have a break for 2 years?
So is that more your thing around the retirement and it's tarnishing how they're ending their career?
Yeah, absolutely. I just feel like it's less credible when they do retire, or when future players do retire, and just think, well, they're probably going to come back. I mean, it's more common. We're seeing it a bit more these days. I mean, it's different if they're retiring from injury, and that usually keeps them out. But when it's like, oh, I'm retiring because I'm burnt out, or I don't like the game anymore, or whatever it might be, then they change their mind. Not even like a year or two later, they just do a complete 180. It just seems silly to me.
I'm sensible with what you're saying, but I think you got to give women some slack on that front. Mainly because, like, she's had 2 children in the last, 10 years. And maybe then, so you need to kind of retire to do that, or you got to take time away from the game. There's one Raven, old Serena's got 2 children. And you've had your children now. Her kids are a little bit older now. I think she had her last kid, Serena, I'm talking about 3 or 4 years ago. Now's the time to come back. If
that's the reason, then I think they need to be transparent in that as well. But when they come out and denying it, like things like, oh, no, I'm not coming back, but they're clearly, they're doing their testing to make it look like they are going to come back. And then, well, it looks like the optics are she is going to come back. It's just like, we can't take you for your word. You're just full of shit. So that your argument is completely valid, that yes, the women, they have their children and they want to start a family, that pauses their career for a bit and they come back, in years later. Just come out and say it.
Safe to say you won't be on the Serena bandwagon at the US Open later in the year.
No, I won't. I hope she loses. I said you should have stayed put in your corner in retirement.
We'll be playing doubles. That's my prediction. I don't think she'll be playing singles. Chris with the spicy take of the week. I'm going to have to clip that and put it around socials.
And her last match was at the 2022 US Open against Tomljanovic as well. Just thought I'd put that out there for all the fact checkers.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I won't harbour the point anymore. I think you've made your points. I disagree overall. I feel like it's their legacy. They can do whatever they like. They feel like playing, they can play. I don't think they're taking anyone's spot. They're playing on the circuits. They're playing these low-level tournaments. I think it's up to them.
Let's hope they earn it as well. That's another thing. You're going to come back, you want to earn it. No fucking wild cards, no special entries, direct entries, just because your name. You fucking earn it.
A wild card.
Yeah, Venus. It's fucked. It's bullshit.
Venus will, if Venus wants to play the Aussie Open, she'll get a wild card. Guarantee you that right now. If she wants to play single.
I'd rather give it to an Aussie 17-year-old.
Yeah, but Venus is going to draw the crowds.
Who? 20 Yanks. Come on.
Yeah, I guess we'll agree to disagree. Adrian, do you have any other burning questions on the Chris?
No.
Next point. Yep. You're ready to move on.
I'll see what I have to say.
ATP Tennis Awards were also handed out this week. Carlos Alcaraz and Andrei Rublev Alcaraz won the Stefan Edberg Sportsmanship of the Year award for the second year running, and Andrei Rublev won the Arthur Ashe Humanitarian Award, honoured for his foundation work. In other news as well, there was a rival podcast, one of the doubles players, coaches, his name escapes me, the doubles player. Anyway, he went on this podcast called Chip in Charge, basically told the story of a request that was denied by the doubles players, where they offered to self-fund their Instagram page to help promote doubles tennis, which was denied by the ATP, much to the chagrin of the doubles players and the coach. Adrian, I know you have a bit you want to say on this one. You wrote a long script, as far as I'm aware.
Well, not so much a long script, but it just got me thinking about why would they knock that back? They wanted to fund it themselves. And I thought, what are some other sports that have marketed their secondary formats? So take a look at cricket. The T20 started off that way. That was a secondary format. It was about fast, social media friendly highlights. It was entertainment first. And then rugby as well. They introduced the rugby sevens, a secondary format. They had influencer style social media content, which, relates with the doubles. Doubles is already faster, it's shorter, it's a bit more chaotic. That could be perfect for social media, in new fans to get into the sport. In basketball, particularly in America, they've invested in a 3-on-3. They've invested in making it more urban and youthful, music-driven format. F2 and F3 formula, the lower formulas, they get dedicated social channels with highlights. Nothing on the tennis front. So, and many of the sports, including exhibition tennis games, have mic'd up players. Cricket does this well. All of these examples of ways to get people more involved. I think the bottom line is the selling point for tennis really is, for sponsors and broadcasters, is the Synchro and post Big Three. And if it doesn't really fit into that narrative, then it seems to be ignored. So that's what, it's not like a Happy Gilmore of tennis. They're bringing in new exciting crowds and revenue. Doubles just doesn't really have that kind of feel. Yes, Chris, I see your hand is up. Well done.
Thank you. It got me thinking more on a holistic or maybe philosophical level, not just with tennis or doubles or just with sports in general, but I think when it comes to viewing pretty much anything, we love drama, we love excitement. That's what we thrive on, and that's what makes things interesting. And doubles, especially tennis, like tennis it's a purist sport. And what I mean by that is we watch it for the art of the game itself. It's not so much about the personality. Well, it wasn't anyway, years ago. It is sort of becoming that these days, where we see a lot of new personalities on court where they thrive on crowd engagement and their playing style as well. But I feel as if doubles was to make its mark, or to make more of an imprint on the game for viewers and to make it more engaging, there needs to be more spice and more drama embedded into the game. Maybe not so much with changing the format or changing the rules. I mean, you could try that, but I feel like there needs to be more spice, more just drama, whether it's maybe less sportsmanship, is more maybe aggression, or I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I feel like if people would be more inclined to tune in and watch the game when there's more heat, there's more spice, there's more drama. And I feel like you'd get that through personalities as well.
I think on that point, when you think about the exhibition doubles games that they often play, who do they get in? Ivanisevic, Henry Leconte, McEnroe. You're getting all these big personalities to exactly reinforce your point about having those characters and make it a bit more spicy. They've got the skill, they can still be technical even at their old age. But you're right, I don't know what the answer is to help them promote it. I just had a few more points that I want to mention that, the ATP probably don't want the players creating a semi-independent media brand that they can't control. Or, they're losing control of the messaging. Even though the doubles players just want the best for their sport, the fact that they don't have the control over it, it might create conflict with the ATP campaigns. And I think an important thing is it probably sets a precedent. If the doubles get their own account, then what about the other ones? What about wheelchair tennis or lower tier tours and then juniors? Will they be like, oh, well, you did this for them, so now we want this. And now it's probably easier for them to just say no to doubles, and now the others can just essentially get stuffed.
Yeah. But we have to remember.
I don't know what the answer is. Do you say it's a purist sport, and if you try and spice it up in a way, in some way, shape, or form, does it take away from, the ability and I don't know.
And look, even watching exhibitions, like I was watching some of the exhibitions match this week in America, and I couldn't watch more than 2 games because you have all these talented players playing, but they're not trying, or they're just making shots to, engage the crowd. But if it was a real match with points and money on the line, we know they wouldn't be playing in this sort of format or capacity. The gameplay would look so different. And for someone that has played the game and loves the game for what it is, it's hard to take that game. It's hard just to watch the game for what it is, because they're playing for a different audience completely. And there's nothing on the line. There's no competitive edge. They're just doing it to woo the audience. And quite frankly, this audience is an audience that is probably new to tennis and that hasn't watched it much before. So that's the whole appeal on the exhibition side. And that's, I feel like, their aim and objective, to get these new people who aren't really familiar with tennis, to sort of ease them into it and to say, look, it can be entertaining as well. And we've seen this through other sports, like you mentioned with cricket, T20, they're making it more exciting in a way, but they've done well in that regard in, big hits, in just the whole format of that. But yeah, like what the answer is, I feel like you need to make it competitive. You need to make it players are actually trying. They've got something to play for, and there needs to be drama and spice without really changing the fabric of the game. And I feel like you're going to get that through just.
Well, it just came to me. it just came to me. You said, what could be some potential ideas for spicing it up? You mentioned unsportsmanlike, real characters at play. And I thought, what's an example of doubles that really drew massive crowds? I'm sure you all know now. The Therios and Kokkinakis Australian Open.
Yeah.
Boy, wasn't that exciting? Everyone wanted to watch it. I'm sure the viewership for that doubles match, especially the final, would have been completely off the charts compared to any other doubles. Is that our answer? You have quality, I know they're singles-based players, but they're going to draw the crowds over the no-name doubles players.
I look, you watch a Davis Cup doubles tie, and I tell you, the crowd goes mental as well. When you throw the team aspect when it comes to nationalities and you're playing for your country, that's a way to get people on board as well. Players love playing for their country as well. They love playing in a team environment. It's predominantly white because, tennis isn't, a team sport. So that is a potential, idea. And with the closest thing we're going to get to, or what it should look like, is in a Davis Cup, in a doubles tie. That would be great if doubles looked like that and felt like that all the time. So maybe playing for your country.
You won't get that because they're playing in a country with the backing of the supporters, willing them on and even booing opponents at times. It does create a really exciting atmosphere, which would make it for good viewing. But you're not going to get that at a major or a Masters, because then you need local players to do well and make it far in those tournaments.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you had a lot of singles players, if they wanted to make doubles a priority or start playing more, they could if they wanted to. If they were incentivized to, I'm sure they would make just have good progress and maybe some wins on the board if they train for it a bit more. But obviously they've played singles for a long time, and that's where they've dedicated their time toward their tournaments. So it's all about incentive.
It comes back to incentives, and you both made some really good points. I think everything you've touched on is smack bang on. You look at the prize money, so I'm just looking at the Australian Open. So a second round exit for men's singles is 200,000. In the doubles, the second round exit is 40K. Not each, 40K between the two of them. So players are naturally going to gravitate towards playing singles more than they are going to play doubles, just based purely on the monetary side of things. Now, obviously, when they're early in their career, they're going to probably be playing both, but they're going to just focus on singles once they get to that top 70, 60, 50 in the world. They're not going to be playing doubles. So potentially part of the solution is offering more prize money to make it more enticing for these top 50, 40, 30 players in the world, maybe to play both. If there's more prize money on the line, and be more inclined to play it, and you're more inclined to draw the crowds and actually grow interest.
Yeah, you need to get to that point where, say, a 50 or a 40 to 50 ranked player might think, well, I might actually do better if I enter the doubles tournament instead of the singles. I'll progress further and earn more prize money that way, as opposed to getting knocked out early in a singles tournament. So you're right. But then where are they getting this money from?
Well, here's an idea that just came to mind. How about we get some of that Saudi money and we make a doubles-only tournament? All the money gets not invested, but all the prize money is for doubles.
Why, you're getting singles players to play doubles with a couple?
It's open to anyone. Open to anyone. For males and females, it's a doubles-only tournament. And you would get, and if the prize money is big enough, you get enough people entering, and Yeah,
I'm
I think
going to play on.
it's an
I'm
idea.
going to play on Chris's point. You take some Saudi money because there's plenty of that to go around. You do an end of year doubles tournament. I'm going to take Chris's point. 8 teams. The top 4 ranked doubles teams automatically qualify, and then you get 4 teams made up of 8 singles players. Your Sinners, your Alcarazes, your Aliassimes, your Fritzes. You get the best you can get, and they make up the other 4 teams. And you try and get 8 of the top 20 singles players, which will draw interest. Imagine Sinner and Alcaraz pairing up against the number 1 men's doubles in the world, the 2 Brits.
Yeah.
You'd love to just see that out of just pure intrigue.
People
you will lift the names of those doubles players who I can't even name right now, just by having them against your top singles players, and you're going to be pitting them against each other and see who the better team on the day.
That's a
And
fantastic
you can do the same
idea.
on the women's side. So your top 4 doubles qualify, so they get rewarded, they get in, and then you fill the other spots with singles guys.
That's amazing.
The novelty of that would just draw interest on its own.
I would watch that.
Absolutely.
I would watch that because it's different and it's new.
I'm going to get on the blower to Mohammed bin Salman and let him know. Just let him know.
Just let him know. So yeah, we're going to patent that idea. We're going to trademark it. We just need to raise some funds. So Chris is going to get the Patreon page loaded up after this, and we'll be taking donations to try and put this prize money together.
The GoFundMe
for me as well, I think the ATP is just stuck. Where's the money coming from? I think the ATP's got plenty of money, but I think they've just got one playbook with how to promote tennis. It's having your top 2 or 3 guys. This has been happening since the 80s. Throw in a couple of characters, going back to McEnroe, to Agassi, even to Hewitt to a lesser extent. He had a bit of personality on the court. He had a bit of aggression. Throw in those guys. Focus on who are your number 1, 2, and 3, who are your standouts, and just promote the living daylights out of them. Put them on a pedestal, make them Mecca, make them God, and that just helps promote the sport. And a lot of sports are like this, where you need your champion teams or your champion players, whether it's Tiger Woods, whether it's your Michael Jordan or LeBron James, Michael Schumacher. You need to have your pinnacle. You need to have your top guys or top teams dragging the sport. And that's just how the ATP do things. And they don't care about doubles. They don't even care to try and promote it, which is a shame, because actually when you watch doubles, it is very exciting tennis. It is, as a neutral, just watching it, or as somebody who doesn't watch it, in person especially, the pace. When there's 4 guys or 4 girls at the net, and they're pinging volleys back and forth to each other, and you're like, who's going to crack first here? It's enthralling to watch.
When I went to the Adelaide 250 International Tournament this year, I was on some back court. Actually, they had 3 courts running because there's only a 250 tournament, I should say. I was on front row seats on the sidelines watching a doubles match. I was watching Patton and I forgot his partner's name, but I was watching them play the top seeds at the time, and the reactions and the speeds on the shots when you're watching it in person, and for whether it's singles or doubles, watching it in person is just so much better than watching through TV. You get a greater appreciation for the game. There was one point I was going to speak on about about the singles, with the ATP rather. It's the fact that the ATP have not needed to change their vision or make any changes for a long time, because of the points you raised, that the men's side particularly has always had a champion, or has always had champions going at it, whether it was the top 3 or the big 4, to now in this time where we're seeing Alcaraz and Sinner create this rivalry and go at it. Could we imagine what tennis would sort of look like and feel like now if there was no Sinner or Alcaraz, or if they were of a lesser quality, not winning slams on a consistent basis? what would tennis look like? Would there be less engagement where we're seeing fluctuations in and out of the top 5, top 10? There's no real dominant play. Would that make it more interesting? I don't know. I think the ATP have really thrived and, got a lot of money on the fact that they've had dominant players in the top 3, top 2 winning the slams, where they've created a rivalry and they'll be able to market that as well. So they haven't really needed to change their agenda in a long time, but maybe that time will come in the future. Who knows what the next 5 to 10 years
And I think history suggests you always have at least a top 1, 2, or 3 that will be up there. You can go back to any era of tennis. You're always going to have someone that is, or a few people that are dominating and doing well and remain there for a period of time until a next generation come up and work their way up.
Yeah. I think it becomes less engaging as well when there's only one, unstoppable force where they're just destroying anyone and everyone. I'm just trying to think of another sport where something like that happened. Like, I'm thinking of Tiger Woods comes to mind. I don't know, golf. I really don't. But did Tiger Woods in his prime have much opposition? And what did that do for golf in that time? Did that build on engagement, or did that sort of stifle it in a way where not many viewers? Same thing with other sports. I'm just trying to draw a comparison.
Well, it's a bit hard because it's hard to just win every major in golf. Golf's you can have just one bad day and that's it. You're not going to win. The one sport I'm thinking of is Formula One. And I'm thinking of Lewis Hamilton dominating for a prolonged period of time. Now, Formula One's hard again because they've had this surge because of the Drive to Survive series on Netflix and popularity has gone up. But it does, having that champion helps, but also for the purist does make it less engaging. That it does, having that person does bring a level of prestige. So it's kind of this, you kind of get it both ways. But I feel like with Formula One, it did get more exciting when Max Verstappen started to challenge Hamilton and then eventually beat him, albeit in controversial circumstances, but beat him nonetheless. But then now you're in this situation where it became boring with Verstappen dominating for so long. So it kind of happens in every sport, to be fair, where you've just got this person that is carrying the sport, but it does make it more predictable.
Think of the Premier League.
Exciting to watch.
We've had the Man City dominance for quite a while. Man United had their dominance in the Sir Alex era.
Yeah.
If
you ask any diehard soccer fan, they'll tell you that the most exciting league to watch is the Championship, because it's unpredictable as hell. There's 24 teams. It's almost like a lottery each week. You have your 1 or 2 teams that are going to be up there, but each year those teams go up, fresh teams come down. It is Russian roulette. You watch the Premier League, outside of Leicester City winning it a few years back now, in the same 5 teams, really. And the only way to break into that is do what Manchester City did and drop a truckload of oil money to try and break the stranglehold that the other 4 clubs had.
Yep.
What makes more money? It's the Premier League. It's not the Championship. But the purists will say watch the Championship because it's much more exciting.
Yep. So level playing field, unpredictability. That's what keeps it exciting. So, yeah, well, we don't really have that in tennis now these days with Synchroaz, but outside of them two, yeah, that sort of reality does exist where it's unpredictable.
To answer your question, what would it look like if Synchroaz weren't dominating? Taylor Fritz would be a 3-time Grand Slam champion. Imagine that one.
Well, Zverev would be a 5-time.
Jeez.
Zverev. But then, so Zverev would be a GOAT, and then we'd be having the same conversation about Zverev.
You'd see a lot more players winning the bigger events. It'd be a lot more diversified, sort of the wins across many players as opposed to 2 taking all the glory now.
Yeah. And then you'd have the casual scene. Almost happens in women's tennis, right? where you go, who the hell is that? And the casual doesn't know who they are. They might be a top 10 player, but like the casual wouldn't even know who Taylor Fritz is. But you could legitimately, if Sinner and Alcaraz weren't in a Grand Slam, you could legitimately win a Wimbledon or a US Open.
Mm-hmm. On that same premise as well, like if you look at the women's side at Grand Slam events, there's been so many one-time winners or women players that have won and they've come from absolutely nowhere.
Clouds, yeah.
Nasova, the other American, Keenan, I think. Ostapenko years ago at the French Open.
Pinko.
Yeah, that's Madison Keys has been around, like she won last year, but again, so open. But did that make tennis for the women's side more engaging, more interesting? I feel like it didn't really hasn't really made much of a difference. But
for us, it might have, but it's not going to grow the sport.
No,
I feel like they did like having a Sabalenka. Yeah, they do like having a Sabalenka poster girl.
Yeah.
Yes. Tennis likes having a poster man and a poster woman, is my point. And that's their playbook they go with. And they focus on singles. And to your point, Chris, they're doing it for decades and they know nothing else. Not like our
Speaking of poster
men, trying to get it off the ground.
Speaking of poster men, there was one back in the 1950s and 60s which you're about to cover, Adam. An Italian legend. No?
Well, you can talk about that if you want. I've been barred from talking about
that. I gave you some feedback. That's all. I feel like that's old news. I feel like we should have mentioned that last week, but we didn't. But yes, Adrian, please, just maybe we're already halfway there, so you may as well mention it.
Just really quick, some interesting stats. So he passed away, and he was known as the King of Clay back in the day. And I just wanted to draw some comparisons between King of Clay compared to King of Clay we all know and love.
So they have posters in the 1960s?
So he won 2 French Opens in 59 and 60, and then made the finals. He made the final in 61 and 64. He also won a men's doubles title in 59 and a mixed doubles in 58. This is all on clay. He he still currently holds the all-time record of matches played for his country in Davis Cup, which is 164, which spanned from 54 to 1972. That's a fair record. So that was the old King of Clay. Get ready for the new King of Clay. So Rafael Nadal, overall clay record, 484 wins, 51 losses. This is on clay, which is a 90.5% win rate. 4 best of 5 matches on clay, that increases to a 97.1% win rate. Isn't that just insane?
Marathon on clays.
So his titles on clay were 63, and 63 out of a total 92 singles titles came on clay. So he has the longest single surface win streak in the Open era, which is 81 consecutive clay court match wins from April 2005 to May 2007. Just consecutive wins. His clay court titles exceed his total clay losses. He
won more titles than he's lost.
Yes, he won 63 tournaments on clay and he only lost 51 matches on clay.
Outrageous.
63 tournaments on clay?
Yes. And he only lost 51 matches on clay. He won more tournaments than losses on clay. It's fair to say.
Who broke that streak of 81 matches in 2007?
I don't know, but I want to kill him.
Golbus.
Golbus or Bublik and I'll be happy.
No, that's a question.
Yeah, I just want to.
So if you ask Rafa, he would know. And he'd have a picture of him on his dartboard, I reckon.
I
thought
thought
that
maybe it was the Soderling match,
Oh,
but I might be mistaken.
now Soderling and Federer were kind of enemies, weren't they? They didn't get along well.
No.
Thank you for that, Adrian. Great rundown. The King of
You
Clay.
didn't mention the original King of Clay's name. You just went straight to the facts, and because I've mispronounced his name. So for our viewers listening, what is his name?
The Italian legend, Nicola Pietrangeli.
Very good. Excellent. Sounds like a sexy pasta.
Expect Adrian to be able to pronounce his name properly. Thank you for that, Adrian. Yes, I was going to mention that, but Chris told me it's old news and to forget about it. But I think that's quite disrespectful to a man known as the King of Clay in the 60s who prioritised his doubles as well. So I think we should spotlight.
There you go. There you go,
Yep.
ATP. Get your shit together.
100%. Good discussion, lads. We're at the end of the year. This will be the last podcast of the year before we come back on January 7th. January 7th or 14th? The 14th, maybe. The Australian Open starts on the 18th, so it will be a week before that. So I thought we would do our end-of-year awards wrap-ups. We're going to need music for the end-of-year awards as well.
You can't do the same music as the quiz.
That's assaulting to the quiz.
I've got no other music to use, so I have to use the same music. I don't have a...
How hard was it to go?
Anyway,
go on.
Bring those on.
What
That's
should the
pathetic.
end of year awards music have been, Chris? Tell me, Mr. Musician.
So.
It's exactly the same thing.
It's just going these to so. Do. So.
I think we should cut this whole thing out and start again. The end of year awards.
Hurry up, get to the point.
I've picked 4 categories, and I want to hear your selections at the end of year awards. The first category, flop of the year. Which player was the biggest flop of 2025? Chris, I'm looking at you, so you can go
Stefanos Tsitsipas.
Why was he the biggest flop?
Started off the year poorly, losing his first round match to Alex Mickelson from the States. I remember that was on the day one. Disappointing fallout with coaches, and he lost his license as well, doing 210 kilometers.
And his girlfriend as well?
Yeah, and he broke up with Pedosa as well. She was hot. It's a real shame.
I think that means she's back on the market.
Hell yeah.
You're in with a chance,
Sorry,
Chris.
Alina, I still love you.
Poor Elena. Not going to be happy to hear any of that. Good nomination. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. Very disappointing. He meant to be a top 5 player, but didn't live up to those expectations. Adrian, who was your flop of the year?
I have a few honourable mentions of Casper Ruud. Just seeing him playing those ridiculous tournaments. I can't remember what they're called with the
UTS.
modified rules. It's just absolute rubbish, and he's still getting slaughtered in them as well. I just found that hilarious. So honourable mention to him, but another honourable mention to Medvedev as well. Again,
Fair shout.
fair shout to him. Having said that, he still remained 13 ranking. So not the worst. My pick is Francis Tiafoe.
Ooh. That's fine.
Who, had all this promise. The arrogance just kills me. And I can't stand him.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, he talks a big talk, thinks he can play with the big boys, but he's slumped down to 30 in the world right now. And I think he is my pick for the biggest flop of the year. And he wouldn't be a flop if he wasn't such a big flog. So
Yep. And he's a fucking clown too, as well. Big clown.
That's my pick.
Tell you what he should do. He should go to doubles. Go up the doubles. Off division.
Yeah.
So I've also got a category for next year, biggest flog of the year. So we'll write that one down for our 2026 awards. Chris, back to you. Breakout Surprise Packet Award. Who was your guy or girl who just came from the clouds? The
Well,
surprise packet of the year.
look, he wasn't really that much of a surprise packet because people knew about him, but I'm going to go Arthur Fils. I mean, he had a good start to the year and he had a lot of tough matches and some big matches in, I believe it was Monte Carlo. He went down to, played a very good match against Carlos Alcaraz in the quarterfinals. He lost in 3 sets. But yeah, it's quite a shame that injury got to him this year. So he hasn't really played that much in the second half of this year. But I really like his aggression and style on court. And I'm just imagining that if injury didn't really derail him this year, he would have continued to make good progress and notch up some bigger wins. So he's one to watch out for once he gets better and hopefully a better year in 2026.
It reached as high as 14 in the world back in April, for slipping away to 40 in the world due to that injury. So one to watch next year, Chris?
Absolutely. If he can stay healthy, he's one that can really go toe to toe on the baseline with the big boys.
4 quarterfinals at Indian Wells and Miami throughout the year as well. So might be fit for the Aussie Open. You never know. Might be a little bit of a smoky to go deep. Adrian, who was your surprise of the year award?
I have another honourable mention of the old Valentin Vachereau. Is that how you say it?
Sure.
Vachereau. Who, as we all know, won the Shanghai Masters 1000 tournament. Now, this was his run. So first round, second round, he took out Bublik. Third round, round of 16, he took out Greek Spore. Quarterfinal, Rune. The semi, Novak. And then in the final, which I think is the most impressive, he took out his cousin, who was ranked above him, but still very low. But all of a sudden, he was now the favorite. So he had the pressure of not being the underdog anymore, which I thought was quite impressive. But he's not my pick. I've picked someone that we have spoken about many times on this podcast. It's Jakub Mensik, my boy from Czechia.
That was obvious.
Well, you can't knock it. He's finished 19th in the world, youngster. And again, we've spoken about him a lot. I think the only way he's up for him to be 19 at his age is very impressive. Much to Chris's dismay of winning that tournament and knocking out those stars. Not a fan, but that's my lock-in.
Fair enough.
I will not take debate.
We ripped him a new one last week for that. I might have to change one of my quiz questions now because Vachereau was on that one. So I'm going to have to come up with something new. Chris, match of the year. What was your match of the year?
It was at the Australian Open.
French Open final.
Okay. It was at the Australian Open of the semi-finals, I believe, between Medvedev and Zverev. Medvedev getting the better of Zverev in 5 sets, where Medvedev came back from 2 sets to love down. Scoreline was 5-7, 3-6, 7-6, 7-6, 6-3. Just trying to find the duration of the game. Fortunately, can't get those stats, but that's an epic right there. Really wanted to highlight as well some quality tennis that can be played without the top 2 of Sinkaraz. They do exist. So, yeah, that was a great match.
Memory went all the way back to the start of the year as well. Adrian, what was your match?
My pick was Ron said Roland Garros, which we do not mention the final, but I've gone a round 2 match in that, which involved said Bublik and Demonor. So it was Demonor up 2 sets, looking comfortable, but you could see in that second set, Bublik started to claw his way back in. And then from there, it was just an absolute shit show of tweeners and crowd involvement, had everything you wanted, everything you'd hope for a match that really has Bublik in it. So, I love the bloke. And, Demonor crumbling under the pressure, but great tennis, some quality tennis. And that's my pick for the match of the year.
You'd love to see a Bublik Mensik doubles pairing in our fanciful end of year doubles tournament. Would you like that?
I would be there, camping out front, getting front row seats.
If you get to front row for that one.
Yeah.
I just realized I fucked up, guys. I feel like the match I just mentioned was 2024. Can't even get the fucking date right. The one rule I had to follow, I couldn't get it right. So I apologize.
So your memory is really good. You picked a match from 2 years ago. That's really impressive. Was 2024 where Medvedev beat Kyrgios in like the second or third round that we were there? Was that last year?
No, I feel like that was before.
It was the year before.
Anyway.
Okay. Fair enough. That's okay. Look, I'll let it slide. You lose a point for that one. Social media merchants of the year award. Chris, who's your social media slut of the year?
I'm going to give it to Garmofis because he posts a lot of wholesome content with his missus, Svetlana. I forgot her name. Ukrainian. Anyway, yeah, they do a lot of cute shit. They post dances, and actually Garmofis can dance. So, I'm going to give it to them as well.
Svetlana,
that's the one.
Vitalina.
What platform are they on, Chris? Where can we watch all this dancing nonsense?
I think TikTok would probably be a best bet.
The same platforms you can follow Talking Tennis on. Do you see?
Absolutely,
platforms
that's
right.
right.
Is that Adrian?
Yes.
TikTok, YouTube, Reddit. Not if you're under 16 though, because you've been banned. But if you're over 16, please, log on.
Get
follow
a
us at
VPN.
Talking Tennis and follow Gal.
Guys, come on.
Yeah. Have you been following that? Apparently for TikTok, they just ask you if you're over under 16 and you just click over and then you just continue. So, yeah, it's working really well.
I saw someone post a picture of a dog and they verified the picture, said, yep, you're good to go. Let it in.
Yeah, social media platforms are really trying hard to stop that. Adrian, who's your social media merchant of the year?
Mine's just a bit of the cop-outs. I couldn't go past the Stefanos Tsitsipas.
Right, to finish out. I mean, you should be following his X handle if you're not.
One of them, what was it? After parting ways with Goran and then returning to his father, sometimes coming home is the boldest step forward, he says. Well, let's not forget the digital cleanse where he unfollowed everybody. Yeah, his aim was to better his mental health. He wanted to avoid spending hours scrolling social media and to encourage younger people to reconnect with real life. Another interesting one was he had a decision to offer subscriber-only content on his social media, which fans obviously were outraged by because you're a professional tennis player earning lots of money. Why would you need to earn more money by having subscriber-only content, which is just ridiculous? So
it's giving me an idea for our webpage.
Well, having said all that, it seemed like he was going through some pretty hefty mental health struggles, which is no joke. So I do feel bad for him if he's struggling, but his social media content was, maybe he should have just left him alone.
It's not the answer sometimes. I feel like it's definitely not the solution. And people need to go find themselves, and they can do that by abstaining from social media. Anyway, we move on.
Yes.
He's also got one of these pages where he's got 444,000 followers and he's following nobody. That in itself is just an insight. You're not following anybody.
I think it's
Like
all
that's just
about
sending a message in
vanity.
If he was to follow one page, follow at Talking Tennis. That's who you need to follow. Alrighty, that is a wrap for the Interviewer Awards. Thank you very much, gents. But that is not how we're going to end 2025. We will end it with the last battle of the Spuds. As you both know, you are locked at 2-all. Yes, Chris, there wasn't double points 2 weeks ago. You are locked at 2-all, meaning that whoever wins today's Battle of the Spuds will be crowned champion of 2025. So it is all
Nervous
to play for. You should both be nervous. No pressure at all.
Oh, no sweat patches. Killing it. Must be right.
And this theme will be ATP Masters 1000 tournament. So I hope you have both been studying. Gentlemen,
I have not.
are you ready?
I'm ready. Ready as I'll ever be.
Let's do it.
Ready for Battle of the Spuds.
Battle?
Get your chat boxes ready. Question 1. How many players won their first ever ATP Masters 1000 title during the 2025 season?
4.
Was it A1, B3, C5, or D7? How many players won their first ever ATP Masters 1000 title during the 2025 season? Was it A1, B3, C5, or D7? It would help if I had my chat box open so I could see the answers. They have both locked in their answer. Chris has locked in B3. Adrian has locked in C5. The answer is C5. 5 players won their first ever ATP Masters
who are
1000
they?
titles. Jack Draper, Jakub Mensik, Casper Ruud, Ben Shelton, and Vacherov.
And Casper Ruud all this time. He only won his first one this year.
Yeah.
And it weren't the 5.
I'm surprised he even won one this year, to be honest.
No, didn't you say he was your flop of the year?
He wasn't
Nah.
a flop, but
That's his best year.
he wasn't.
I wish I could fucking flop like that. Age on the boards. Question 2. Ben Shelton captured his first career ATP Masters 1000 title in 2025 at which tournament? Was it A, Cincinnati Open, B, the Canadian Open, the Toronto Open, C, the Miami Open, or D, the Paris Masters? Where did Ben Shelton win his first ATP Masters 1000 title in 2025? Was it A, Cincinnati, B, Toronto, C, Miami, or D, Paris? Chris has locked in Cincinnati. Adrian has locked in Toronto. Adrian's been studying. The answer is Toronto. Adrian takes a 2-0 lead, and we haven't even got to his tech question of who am I? I can't wait till he gets to who am I. I've been
I had to go early for the who am I. I had to go real early.
Question 3. Carlos Alcaraz won 3 ATP Masters 1000 titles in 2025. Which trio of tournaments did he win? I will rattle these off, but I will put them in the chat as well, just so you have it. So just give me 1 sec as I do that, because it will be very confusing otherwise. I hope this works. It has. Is it A, Indian Wells, Miami, and Rome? Is it B, Monte Carlo, Madrid, Shanghai? Is it C, Monte Carlo, Rome, and Cincinnati? Or is it D, Madrid, Rome, and Paris? They are in the chat box for you guys. Sorry for the folks
know
listening
there
at
was-
home. I am not going to repeat that.
I know there was a Monte Carlo.
3 titles. Adrian thinking out loud for some reason, giving Chris his inner thoughts, telling him that
My chat's not working. I can't see the answer, so I'm going to have a guess.
excuse me?
My chat's not working. I can't see the responses, so
Your chat's
I
not
know
working.
the-
All right. I'm going to repeat it again, Chris, for you. Is it A, Indian Wells, Miami, Rome? B, Monte Carlo, Madrid, Shanghai? Is it C, Monte Carlo, Rome, Cincinnati? Or is it D, Madrid, Rome, and Paris? Chris's chatbot not working is just a disaster. That is a hard question to try and remember.
Anyway, I've locked in.
This is locked in Indian Wells, Miami, and Rome, ignoring Ages in a Monologue of Monte Carlo.
Yeah, I knew it was one of them, so it was either B or C. It was, I wasn't sure.
Did you lock in? Oh, sorry, you've locked in B, have you?
I went C, but I wasn't sure if it was B or C.
I have not seen your C come in. Have you locked in B or
Oh.
C? Because nothing's come through.
I put C in. I put it in early at 9:06.
It's coming up on mine. So it doesn't count.
Oh, what? Can you see?
Okay. I will
Is that
now
right?
I can see it. That is C. The answer is C. It is Monte Carlo, Rome, and Cincinnati. He achieved the rare clay double, being Monte Carlo and Rome, before winning on the hard court in Cincinnati. Age takes a 3-love lead with 2 questions to go.
Do I need to
Two
do the other
questions
2
to go?
questions?
3 questions to go. I've got 6 questions. I should scrap the last one because you both
Get rid of the
know it.
Vachereau
Anyway,
one.
We'll do the Vachereau one just so Chris can get one on the board before Who Am I? It's just pointless because Adrian will get it as well. The Cincinnati Open final saw a rare and unfortunate ending when Yannick Sinner retired from the match. What was the scoreline when the match ended, handing the title to Carlos Alcaraz? Was it A, 5-love, B, 6-3, 2-love, C, 4-3, or D, 7-5? I'm going to throw those in the chat as
thank you.
well. Was it A, 5-love, B, 6-3, 2-love, C, 4-3, or D, 7-5? What was the scoreline Alcaraz won by in the Cincinnati Open by default? The answer is A, 5-love. Sinner had to stop playing after just 5 games in the first set due to feeling unwell.
Well, he used to be
Chris.
very unwell. It was 5-love down.
I wouldn't be feeling well as well. Adrian, holding a lead at 3-1 with 2 questions to go. Question 5. Jack Draper captured his first Masters 1000 title at Indian Wells in 2025. Who did he defeat in a dominant 6-2, 6-2 final? Was it A, Ben Shelton, B, Yannick Sinner, C, Holder or D, Carlos Alcaraz? Who did Draper beat? They're both paying attention this year. They both answer Holder. The answer is Holder. Correct. You both get a point.
Jack Draper is not beating Alcaraz that convincingly.
So I've just thrown a couple of other dummies in there rather than those two.
Maybe.
So you just put Demore in there. Maybe you would have gone for that one. All right. Should we bother with this question? We'll bother with this question. The 2025 Shanghai Masters final was a historic family affair. Which qualifier defeated his own cousin to become the first player from Monaco? Which player from Monaco to win an ATP final? The answer, of course, is Valentin Vachereau. B. That is correct, Adrian and Chris. You both get that one correct. So we both covered that earlier. All right. Yeah, no, Adrian, it is not E. Vachereau was ranked outside the top 200 and came from a set down to beat his cousin in the final. Alrighty, we are now down to the Who Am I? I'll do a score check just for Chris's
I can
sake.
do it, Chris, for once.
Adrian,
Sit back.
for once, is leading 5-3 going into the Who Am I? You need to bear with me for 1 sec because I have the Who Am I, but I'm not going to play it.
We interrupt this.
So you two just talk. You two just talk amongst yourselves. All right, I've got it. It's embarrassing. Yes, remember, you're trailing by 2. When I start, it'll be 4 points and it'll cascade down to 1. So if you want to jump in early and have a crack, you might need to if you want to take out the 2025 Battle of the Spuds title. There will be a trophy in the mail for the winner.
Thank you for explaining that.
You look really not excited. It must be past your bedtime. Who am I? I was born in Linköping, Sweden in 1975 and grew up idolizing national hero Mats Wilander.
Chris.
Wow. Chris?
Robin Soderling.
Ryan Soderling.
Robin Soderling.
Oh, he's Robin Soderling. That is not correct.
Oh, well, I don't have to think too hard now. I can relax.
Adrian can just hear me talk for the next set amount of time. Now, if Adrian gets it wrong, Chris, you are free to buzz in and have a crack. So Adrian's no guarantee you get this right. It is a bit tricky. My tennis journey began at age 5 when I started hitting balls with my father, eventually joining at the historic Linköping's Tennis Club, where I developed my game. I was a standout junior, becoming the European Under-14s champion in 1989, and even reaching the final of the prestigious Orange Bowl Under-16s despite playing with an injured elbow. I turned professional, for 3 points. I turned professional in 1994, but my breakthrough took a few years to arrive. My first taste of ATP glory came on the lightning-fast carpet courts of Copenhagen, 1997, where I lifted my maiden trophy. Later that same month, I proved my love for indoor courts by winning another title in St. Petersburg. Before my biggest solo triumph, I found success representing my country. I was part of the Swedish team that captured the Davis Cup in 1998. Individually, I proved I could compete with the world's best in 1999 when I won a Masters 1000 title in Montreal. To lift that Canadian trophy, I defeated world number 4 Yevgeny Kafelnikov in the final, coming back from a set down. For 2 points, my career was unfortunately plagued by injuries, including a knee problem that forced me to miss the entire 2003 season right after my prime. However, I found a second win late in my career, winning a silver medal in doubles at the 2008 Beijing Olympics alongside Simon Asplund. Since retiring, I've stayed on tour as a high-profile tennis coach, working with stars like David Goffin, Maria Sakkari, and Kai Nishikori. For 1 point, I am best known for a shock Grand Slam run at the Aussie Open in 2002. Seeded 16th, I took advantage of a draw where the top seeds fell away. I defeated Murat Safin on his birthday, no less, to win the Australian Open, becoming the last Swedish man to win a Grand Slam singles title. Who am I?
Thomas Johansson?
Yeah, it's Thomas Johansson. That is correct. That is correct. You nearly got it. It was right in your prime sweet spot. Did you know that, Chris?
I know.
The name only came to me right at the very end, but before you said, winning the Australian Open, I had no clue.
Yeah.
That was the giveaway. I
remember Younger
that was a tricky
having the big Swedish, the fans were out there, and he was big at the time, but haven't heard absolutely anything from him for a long time. So that was a good one. That was pretty challenging.
Tried to make it a little bit more challenging to end the year. Congratulations, Age. You are this week's and this year's Spud of the Year. Well done.
Yes.
Trophies in the mail.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I had to make it up. I had to make it up to all my fans in North Carolina and Michigan. I couldn't let them down. They come out in their droves, and look, I knew I had their support every week. through the ups and downs, start off strong. We had a bit of a dip, but
Yeah, those 2 weeks were doing rough.
Fell into some
All those
severe
riots,
depression during those 2 weeks, and now I'm back, baby.
all those riots in Michigan for you losing in Battle of the Spuds. It was
Like
hectic.
Black Lives Matter all over again.
This was worse. Good. Congratulations, Adrian. We'll get you that trophy hopefully by the end of the year. I know you're going to put it up on the mantle behind you.
I'm sure will.
All right, everybody. That is a wrap for 2025. Thanks, everybody who's tuned in and listened over the last few weeks, particularly everyone in Vermont, Michigan, North Carolina, Aspen, everywhere else in Australia and abroad. If you're still listening, God help you, but thank you. Chris, final thoughts, final send-off for 2025.
Can only hope that Sabalenka beats Kyrgios in the upcoming exhibition match. We won't have spoken until we know the result. So, yes, have a good New Year. We'll see you in a few weeks' time.
Rich, you said he's the best player to have never won a Grand Slam last week. Now you want him to lose.
Doesn't mean I like him. Doesn't mean I like him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Adrian, what do you have to say to your legions of fans overseas?
The Legions, they know they have a special place in my heart. But thanks. It's been a wonderful ride, and I look forward to our return. Lots to discuss, as Chris mentions, the Battle of the Sexes, but then also keen to get up and running before the Oz Open, which is a very exciting time for us Melburnians in particular.
We will be back a week before the Aussie Open. Us Melburnians will be all over it. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll hear you and speak to you in the new year. Good evening. Good night.